Check out my sparkly dog balls.
I realize how fucking easy it would be to kick that thing's ass too. Once your size, once your muscle.
It's Radio Free Innsmouth 56, I think. If I got the number wrong, I'm sorry! But this week, we're gonna do the fourth Sigh album. This might as well be the Sigh and Peste Noir show. Maybe I should do another fucking Nocturnal Mortem episode too. Huh, guys? Anyways, yeah. Fourth Sigh album. It's called Scenario 4. Dread Dreams, and it's probably the darkest Sigh album. For some reason it has a reputation as being one of the weirdest. However, I think it's actually their second most conventionally metal album after Gallows Gallery, which was sort of like a weird power metal album that they did. But it is very good. It's maybe my second favorite Sigh album, and it does feature my favorite Sigh song, the opening track, known as Diabolic Suicide. So without any further ado, let's get into that. One of my favorite riffs of all time, this riff right here, which uses some kind of wacky oriental pentatonic stuff to give a very creepy and slightly off atmosphere. With a really fucking sick bass guitar tone. This is probably the best tone they ever got on the bass. And where does that intro riff lead us? Into some good old-fashioned weirdo heavy metal. With a lot of layered harmonies. Like this one, which is about to happen right now. It fucking rocks. Check this shit out. Those dank hand claps, I love it. Joyfully evil. This album is absolutely full of clapping hands. Like this, they were really into the hand claps on this album. It's almost like this album has the clap.
Oh my, how lewd.
But yeah, that part with the trumpets there, that's sort of the verse riff on this song, which has kind of a bizarre structure. So like that verse riff initially builds up into the harmony thing. You think, oh, that's the chorus, right? But then they go back to what would be nominally termed the verse riff, go through that again, and it runs into the actual chorus of the song, which is substantially stranger than even that little bit of 80s heavy metal. Let's have a listen to that. So this is the chorus. Another new innovation on this album is heavy usage of female vocals, which might turn some people off, but I'm a big old fruit, and I enjoy that kind of shit in black metal, sorry. What a good chorus. That then collapses nihilistically into this weird doom metal part. And I'm not going to play this whole doom metal section, just know that it is a very nihilistic conclusion. It completely turns the song around. They start doing some weird flamenco guitar in the middle of it, and then eventually it goes back to that verse riff and the chorus riff, but the second time it collapses, it does something even stranger. 3, 2, 1. And now we see why this album is called Scenario 4 Dread Dreams, because it's all a suicidal nightmare. It's kind of the general concept of the album. So we have subliminal, suicidal messages and very amorphous riffs. This part goes on for a very long time and goes into very unexpected passages. Lots of odd little synth washes going on in the background before it finally arights itself and goes back to that intro riff that hadn't been repeated yet. Very spooky. Very nightmarish, ghostly, ghastly, and how fucking goth is that Tim Burton-ass shit?
I'm a 27-year-old sexy goth stud who has been laid the year.
You might not think it's cool, I fucking love it. So like I said, probably my favorite Sigh song, but this is a whole album. we gotta see what gosh darn heck else goes on in this here LP. Some more cool harmonies. They really stepped up the harmonies on this album. But like I mentioned earlier, they use a lot of unconventional scales to give it a stranger and more eerie feeling. So, you know, decent enough riff right here, but let's see where the song goes. Doom metal? Maybe? Nope! Fucking good vocals, too. Interesting incorporation of piano. All that good stuff. And for those of you who are out there that are into Sigh for the genre splicing that never gave this album a chance, let me assure you there's plenty of that shit going on, too. The doom metal parts of this album really go back to Scorn Defeat in terms of that macabre tone, which might have been lost on the lighter moments of Hail Horror Hail. Speaking of lighter moments,
Every girl crazy about the sharp dressed man.
that transition certainly snuck up on me. A little bit of country music, which then leads us into something even weirder. Yeah! Getting a little frisky over here. Wasn't this supposed to be a black metal album, though? Oh, there it is. Like I said, this album is supposed to be a very suicidal, dream-based hellscape. And it succeeds very well at that. It's a lot more cohesive than Hail Horror Hail. And overall, I think it's a better album. I do enjoy Hail Horror Hail quite a bit, of course, since it was the second Sigh album I ever heard. But like I said, it had one pretty lame song on it. None of this album is lame. It's good the whole way through. And for some reason, it's like the forgotten Sigh album. Mostly because it came out between two major career milestones. The second of which we will be getting to next week. But for now, if you haven't heard this album yet, go out and give it a listen. Until next time.
本日もご視聴ありがとうございました。この動画が良かったらグッドボタンとチャンネル登録ぜひぜひお願いします。